Full-time highlights from what we have to say might have been the best game of the tournament. Any league, any game to this point. Third place game, Costa Rica and Panama. It gave us everything. A thriller from start to finish. Costa Rica were the better team, frankly, for the early stages of this match. Early clear off the line there from Panama to keep it scoreless early on. They had some chances as well in the early stages, the Canalmen, to open the scoring. They did not take those opportunities. And then the opening goal came. Ishmael Lopez. Brilliant finish. And that gave Costa Rica the lead. Panama tried to respond. They had some opportunities, not able to do so. And frankly, Costa Rica kept on coming. Sebastian Canton, lovely header off the Urbina feed. That made it 2-0. And you felt from that point on the Ticos might be fully in charge. Would they not look back from there, Costa Rica? And they'd add a third. Urbina plucking it away and then scoring 3-0. Just like that. It was a picture-perfect start for the Ticos, 3-0 up. And you started to wonder there, was that game over? Would the Canalmen be down and out? The answer was far from a yes. What a response. A mad scramble here, and Mendoza touching it in to make it 3-1. And that was the start of what would be a remarkable comeback for Panama. They just needed the one, and they ignited their belief once again. Then Jordan, from a set piece, could not quite wrap his boot around it. Then Emmanuel Rodriguez, what a finish this was. 3-2. And that would be the score going into halftime. A ridiculously good finish. And Panama actually almost tied it with Jordan at the end of the first half, but Leyva made the save. Then this crazy moment, a slap and a straight red card. Kendall Alegria sent off for Costa Rica in first half stoppage time. And that incredible half would end on that note. Second half, things simmered a bit, it must be said. Chances mostly for Panama, who were up a man as the half moved along. But give Costa Rica credit, they had to dig in defensively as the half moved along. But then the moment, the equalizer from the substitute, Jose Preciado, off the post and in to complete the 3-0 comeback, 3-3. And Panama had a chance, of course, to win the game late on a couple of times, but they could not scratch across the winner at the death. Few chances down the stretch here. This was an opportunity. Rodriguez could have won it. Blazed it over the top. Not there. Alexander Tull could have won it as well, but Leyva would make the stop. This was all down to the last 5 or 10 minutes of opportunities. Costa Rica had a chance to win it with Leon on a free kick. Couldn't wrap his boot around it. Then up the other end, the Ticos would get another opportunity here, but it was a blocked shot from Zamora. Then this shot for a penalty. Costa Rica were livid. It was a dive, no contact. Referee got it spot on. That was the last main moment of full time. 3-3 at the end of an unbelievably breathtaking 70 minutes. Then in the penalty shootout, Leyva, big save to deny Mendoza. That was the turning point in the shootout after both teams made their first 2 spot kicks. And then a big conversion from the captain Leon. That made it 3-2 to Costa Rica, heading to round 4. And this set up a big penalty. Joel Sanchez had to score. He blazed it over. And that made it match point for Costa Rica, who entrusted the big penalty to Jordi Alfaro. And he didn't make any mistakes there. Slots it in. And Costa Rica win it 4-2 on penalties after an epic third place game. And dare I say again, that was one of the best games we've seen at this tournament. Before we end our coverage here at the Concacaf Boys Under 15 Championship, we go back through the full-time highlights of the final here in League A. Mexico and the U.S., it's always a star-studded affair. It's always the game, it feels like, in Concacaf. It's a rivalry that always seems to deliver. And it certainly delivered goals in this final as well. but they all were for one side. U.S. got up to a strong start. They had a couple of early chances, but then Mexico just turned it up a notch. They went to a different level as the first half moved along, and they started out with a goal from Juan Carlos Martinez Jr. to break the deadlock and give El Tri a 1-0 lead. They were far from done. Paxton Ruffin, bang, 2-0, just like that. And El Tri really never looked back from that. They just gained more and more confidence as the match went along. Then Davion Kimbrough, the tournament's top scorer, added another to make it 3-0. And Mexico just kept on pushing. Juan Carlos Martinez Jr. keeps his cool, finishes beautifully, 4-0. Mexico scored 4 goals in 8 first-half minutes, and they never took their foot off the gas after that. U.S. had a bit of a strong finish to the half. Garcia here, just wide, touched wide by Corona. Then the layoff here. Morales, wide. U.S. needed that late first-half goal to have any chance of a comeback. They had 3 late chances. None of them were put into the back of the net. That one was behind Hernandez, who couldn't finish. 4-0 Mexico at the half, and they would just continue to push on after that. More and more opportunities as the second half moved along. Though the U.S., they did bounce back in the second half. They did have some chances to add on. And so did Mexico. They created opportunities for themselves as well, no questions about that. But Mexico's defense, led by Jose Corona, held firm. And the U.S. were held to a clean sheet, which, of course, at this tournament is a rarity. Mexico had a couple of chances to wrap it up. Jason Nemo Jr., a couple of good saves for the U.S. to try to keep the Americans in with a shout. Then a couple of long-distance opportunities that the U.S. were not really able to take full advantage of. Then, to wrap it up, how about that? A bow on top of proceedings from Lisandro Torres, 5 minutes from time. That made it 5-0, and that kicked off the celebrations for El Tri here in Alajuela. 5-0, they beat the U.S. in the final. Couple of late flurries from the Americans. In the end, not enough, and it really was a Mexican masterpiece in the final. El Tri dominant over their rivals, the U.S. 5-0, they win it. They are the champions of League A, and they are now 2-time Concacaf Under-15 Boys Champions. Giovanni Garcia, the captain for El Tri, lifts the trophy, and Mexico are your champions in Costa Rica in 2025. Thoroughly deserved, and Mexican celebrations will continue long into the Costa Rican night. They prevailed, and they are your champions.